What'd you do?
Hello.
Hold on.
Welcome
Hello.
to another episode of The Purple Pill.
The Purple Pill.
Today's question of the day. Can you be friends and remain friends with an abusive, cheating, man? Like if he hits his wife and cheats on her.
Did it specify gender or did it say person?
Okay, well, in the question, you're a man, so you're probably going to be, we've already discussed, you'll probably be a friend with a man. So.
Oh, you're asking me, not the audience.
Well, we are asking the audience, could you be friends with an abusive? Why does it look like I have a unibrow?
What?
Okay, it doesn't now. It was just a little shadow.
Oh.
It's fine. I'm like, I definitely don't have one. Oh my gosh. Anyways, back to the question of the day. Could you be friends with an abusive, cheating person?
I'll start us off. And with that, I could not. Here's the truth. I'm a big believer in social circles. And as you develop and grow, you are going to shed your social circles like a snake sheds its skin. As such, if you are keeping people around that inhibit traits, it is going to reflect on you, even if you're not the one doing them, because you're in association with that individual. And so then it is only natural for somebody to question your character based on the people that you keep.
That's fair. I'm going to say it depends. It depends. You know, can you keep friends who have a lifestyle and do things that you don't agree with? If the man is only friends with other women beaters and cheaters, he's going to continue to stay that way. Okay. Now, I don't agree with being friends with someone in a way where it brings you down. Okay. Like if you have a negative person, you know, they say you're only as strong as your weakest link, right? So in what sense does that put you there? Right. So there's that aspect of it. So I'm not saying like that necessarily should be like your best friend or somebody that runs with your top 5 of people, but can you be friends with them? You have other circles of friends. Okay. I have a circle here and then my circles grow and then grow. And so I have like circles and circles. Okay. It looks like a target board. Okay. So in that sense, yes, there's this pastor guy. I don't know what his name is, but I always see him on my feed and stuff. And he's always up there, talking about the Lord, and people want to say, well, the Bible says, and he's like, well, actually, where does the Bible say that? You know, or the Bible says, you know, whatever, or actually, you know, this, and he'll break it down and everything, and he'll ask questions back, and it's good. And one person said, could you be friends with a racist? And he said, absolutely. Because if I'm not his friend and I'm not there to tell him that he's wrong, then who else is going to do it?
That's an interesting place to be in.
I do think there are levels. There are exceptions. Pedophile, never. I might murder them. Okay, just saying. Like, wood chippers. I might not even wait for one to go on sale. You know what I'm saying? Like let's just say. So there are certain people that I wouldn't. The answer is no. Okay, there are levels again to it, but another thing that pops in the head is Daryl Davis. Do you know who Daryl Davis is? Daryl Davis is a black man who got the robe, and he walks around with this robe of a KKK member, Grand Master, Grand Dragon, whatever they're called, like the highest person. So what happened with Daryl Davis was he went in to interview this KKK member. And I think it took him 20 years. He befriended this guy. I get to the point where Daryl Davis, you know who I'm talking about? Yeah. So he wrote a book on it.
Yep.
So then Daryl Davis, it got to the point where he's going through interviews and the guy keeps interviewing him and stuff. And he's like, hey, can you pick up my daughter from school? Nobody else can. And he's like, yeah, I'll do it. So he's doing things because the other people who are supposed to be his friends, these other KKK members, would not do it. So he befriended this guy. Now they became best friends eventually. And he's like, I can't believe in this stuff because you're my best friend. Like, you know what I'm saying? Wow. So the thing is that a friendship and love to a certain level, I think, can break cycles.
Okay.
Especially when you're showing love at an aspect that these people, when people are abusive, they probably were abused, and that's the love that they know. So they have to unlearn love. And how are they going to unlearn love if you don't have those type of people around you? Now, again, I also agree, if all your friends are abusers and cheaters, then that's probably going to be, your wheelhouse of people or whatever the case is, and that will rub off on you. But I do think that if people have a very negative aspect, that you need to keep them at a distance. But I don't think not being their friend is the answer. It's like, okay, I love the Lord, right? I love Jesus. Let's say you don't, okay? You love Jesus. I more have studied the word and all that stuff, so I might have more knowledge, and hopefully it's lived out in wisdom than you do, okay? And in the sense that, I'm maturity, I'm eating steak, you're drinking the milk, the honey in the milk right now, right? But let's say that you don't believe in Jesus, you don't believe in the Lord. If you're only around other people that don't believe in the Lord, I mean, a stranger could tell you, but like, if you don't believe in the Lord, then, and I do, and I say, well, he don't believe in Jesus, so I can't be his friend. I'm
fair.
That's weird, and so I do think, again, I think there's levels, because there are people like legit, like children abusers of any kind, physical, SA, whatever. That's a whole nother story.
Correct.
They deserve, death is not even good enough for them.
I wouldn't necessarily not be their friend off the bat. I would say that it'd be fair to at least say, hey, if you're doing this, I can't associate with you unless you change your ways.
That's fair. That's fair.
Give them a chance. I after you explain it that way, I think it is fair to at least say, hey, I see that you're doing something that I don't agree with.
Right.
And I can't associate with you if you continue.
And then you put perimeters on your friendship. You put boundaries. That's when boundaries are really good, right? The boundaries are good to have in place. The boundaries of, we can hang out. Okay, for me, right? Let's say I have a woman who's abusing a man, right? Okay. Hey, I don't like the way you treat your husband. It's not for me, but if you want to hang out with me, even when I'm hanging out with the girls from church, or it don't necessarily have to be a Bible study. Maybe it's a girls' game night. We do that,
Right.
If you want to come hang around me in these circles, because at that point, it's not just me and them. It's not just me pushing on them, but it's something that we can try to do, together. And then, of course, pray for them and things like that. So
Right.
I think that, but I guess that's a good thing. What if it's your best friend? Do you have a best friend that you've had since you were like,
Yes.
okay, what's their name?
What?
Okay, give them a name.
Josh.
Okay, so Josh.
Yep.
Josh, let's say you've known Josh since you were in middle school.
Yeah, we actually have. Since middle school.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say you find out Josh is abusing his wife. Would you stop being friends with him? How would you deal with that? That's your best friend.
Find out.
Yeah.
Right. First, I have to address the issue. Hey, is this true? Okay. Why are you doing this? What caused it? What's the situation that's bringing you to this? Mm-hmm. Is there a better way to handle it?
I mean, there's always a better way.
Well,
I guess unless
internally.
she's... Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like, unless she's attacking him.
Right. Yeah. No. It's going to be
Unpopular opinion.
Mm-hmm.
If a woman hits a man, not saying she deserves, but she needs to be prepared to be hit like a man.
right.
Like, you can't hit somebody and expect not to get hit back just because you're weaker. I'm sorry, it doesn't work. That's not how real fights
Correct.
work. Like, if you fight the same sex, right? You don't
No.
expect. So
Equal
you can't.
equal rights means
Equal
lefts.
fights. Oh,
Yeah.
what did you say?
Equal rights means equal lefts.
Oh, see, equal rights mean equal fights.
That too.
So, just saying. And I don't believe in equal rights, but go ahead.
Yes. No. I mean, there's questions that must be asked first, followed by some mediation and follow through, right, to make sure that things are being implemented and followed, or are maintained. Other words, yeah, you cannot continue down, because if we're best friends, we're hanging out. So then if I'm seen with that person, then it's like, do I do that too? right?
Right.
You know, but again, also given the content that I produce and what I'm about, back to your Jesus reference, I have the capability to create a course correction.
And isn't that like your audience of people anyway? And I'm not saying your audience of people is abusive and cheaters, but I'm saying like, isn't your audience of people broken men?
That's the idea. Yep.
Like
Broken,
So
abandoned, you know, or lacking self esteem.
yeah. So if your audience is broken men, how many of them do you think are abusive or cheat because they think that that's what it means to be a man because
So-
they're
Broken has levels to it, and with that, the men that I deal with are broken without abundance. You can be broken with abundance, and that's where you see they cheat or they're womanizers and stuff like that, right? Or as that one black guy said, homemakers. But the other side of it that I deal with are the opposite, where you're
Okay.
broken and you have nothing, you have nobody, no self belief. So then you don't manifest abundance. You
Right.
know, it's easy for there's levels.
Okay, but real quick, would you be loyal? But would you be loyal to a friend when you found out that they were like a womanizer, abuser, cheater to their spouse, to their partner?
Yeah.
Would you still be loyal to them?
If they're putting their hands and initiating it, right?
But I think that that's also like another level of loyalty too.
Oh, yeah,
Because if I'm loyal to you, then I also need to tell you where you're wrong.
that's fair.
And I think that we don't do that enough because you have your friends that will just have your back no matter what. Now, okay,
Right.
I get like your bestie, okay, but then when your bestie's like really wrong,
Yeah.
you'll say something. Now, although it's like, okay, let's say you're my bestie. Okay, let's say you and Aaron are here, and let's say you totally did her wrong, and I'm like, okay, yeah, but she wasn't really doing. I'm gonna have your back, but then at the same time, I'll be like, yeah, but you was wrong though, right? Like, I get it, but like,
Well, and we should have that. But
Yeah.
what I find, and I, I think you guys will maybe can piggyback on this as well. There are echo chambers within the friend groups, so then there is no accountability because essentially it's a rally of
echoing,
Yeah.
saying the same thing that you're saying just because you guys are friends.
correct. Oh yeah, you're in the
And
right.
it's, right, and it's like at what level?
For instance, there's a God, it's so weird how we talk about stuff that I just saw videos on. So
course.
I was watching a video on, I want to say it might have been YouTube shorts, and a guy was covering a conversation that was being recorded of women at lunch talking about how essentially she beats her man, and then the girl next to her is saying, "Yeah, you have to train them like dogs." Da 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 da, and they're laughing and carrying on. And he stopped it there and was like, "Now, if this was a group of men talking about women, they'd instantly be canceled."
I'm laughing because in a way, I think both people in a relationship need to be trained like dogs. And I say this because in general, we just as human beings, as creatures, as Homo sapiens, whatever, are like designed to push boundaries. And I will push them and you will push them, male or female. We both push boundaries. Children push boundaries, and we continue to push boundaries as we get older. We don't realize it. Kids don't push boundaries because they're like, I'm going to push the buttons today. They push boundaries subconsciously to see how far that they can get. And that is what we do in relationships with people. And if you let me get away with something, I will do it more and more.
Correct.
Not because I'm trying to hurt you or trying to do it. But okay, I was a woman who once put hands on a man. I won't do it now. And it started with somebody not allowing me to do that.
Right.
Okay, like honestly, that's what it started with. Somebody who was like, all right, just walked away and didn't speak to me for 2 days. And I was like, what? So I'm wrong? How could I be wrong? I'm a woman. Women are never wrong.
Lord help us.
Okay.
No, but here's the thing. What you just said there is profound, but I would have to disagree slightly as an adult, which is I don't believe adults push boundaries like a kid does. I think a kid or adolescent.
Not in the same way, but
Yeah.
we continue to push boundaries. We learn better.
Depending.
Okay, so
Like in a relationship, I would doubt that. I don't push boundaries in a relationship. In a relationship, I'm very straightforward.
No, you do.
How?